Good afternoon again. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Bobby Haggard. I'm one of the consultants here at TrinSoft. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started here. We are just hitting on a few of the highlights here within Business Central. There are many that are out there and that are available. We are just hitting on a few of the highlights of the capabilities and features that are coming out in this new release of Business Central with the April Wave 1 release. If there are questions or further updates that you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to us or send us a quick email or give us a call, and we can certainly get you some more information on what's available. There will be a resource page at the end of the presentation showing you some additional places to find some information related to the Business Central Wave 1 release. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat feature of the GoToMeeting tool, and we'll try and answer those through there. And if it's a more detailed question, we might try to take that offline and follow up with you after the presentation. All right, so let's jump right in and go ahead and get started. So as most of you are aware, Business Central is a complete business management application, and it's designed and optimized for small and medium-sized businesses. Business Central is structured to streamline your processes, which will allow you to make smarter decisions, which should then drive growth and profitability. Now, Business Central was built to digitally transform organizations by helping to solve issues around disconnected and outdated systems, reporting-related problems, and much more. Business Central can easily and seamlessly connect your people and processes like never before. Business Central will help you make better business decisions every day by allowing you to have an end-to-end view of the business with an out-of-the-box dashboard designed for each role that gives the user exactly what they want to see, with flexible KPIs that can easily be tailored to fit your specific needs. Now, you can easily tailor Business Central in a no-code environment through the user interface. You can start with as many or as few users and modules as you want and quickly grow into a much more robust solution. All right, now that is just a quick refresher on what Business Central is, which I think most of you know or at least familiar with. Let's hit on a few of the highlights here that are coming out in this April release of the Wave 1 release. So in the April release, there's over 40 enhancements or improvements that are coming out mainly from top customer requests, partners, and a lot of them are coming from the Microsoft Ideas site, meaning that a lot of these updates were suggested by users and have been implemented to make the user's life easier. Now, Microsoft broke these down in these April releases down into 5 main areas or themes, and we'll quickly hit on what each of these are. First is the service fundamentals. So that's all around performance, reliability, and supportability, which are at the core of the business. And this way focuses on service quality, accessibility, and security. Secondly is productivity. End-user productivity is critical. So this release continues the pattern of delivering improved productivity with enhancements to both the modern client, streamlining data entry, and other requested features such as auto insert and some other items. Now, there's also a geographic expansion, may not be as applicable to those on the line today, but possibly as your businesses grow, that may be important. So with this 2020 release Wave 1, there's the additional ability to add different languages, language translations to tenants, and then they've rolled Business Central out to a handful of other countries such as Slovenia, Croatia, Latvia, Hungary, and Peru. Next up is the customer requested enhancement. So Business Central continues to respond to top customer enhancement requests. In addition to multiple features picked from the product ideas portal, they're enhancing areas to receive significant feedback, such as bank reconciliation, which we'll hit on here in a few moments. And then finally is the customer migration tools. So to help simplify the journey for existing Dynamics customers to Business Central, Microsoft has added different migration tools to help convert clients from Dynamics GP and NAV versions and make those improvements and migrations easier for the customer. All right, so as I previously mentioned, much of the work went under the hood, if you will, in this release Wave 1. However, we wanted to hit on a few of the more visible highlights and capabilities in this April release. So what I'm going to highlight here in the next few slides are just a few sample additions. Again, to see the full list and descriptions, please visit the Microsoft release plan, which I'll highlight again at the end in the resource area. And this is where you can see the various different things that Microsoft has added, many new features designed to help improve usability of the solution for the users so they can get their work done more quickly. Two other areas of focus here in the latest release were the enhanced application features. and then some better tools for admins and partners, which will, again, help you, the user, in the long run. All right, so let's dive right in and hit on a few of these highlights here. Let's start with some of the highlights around improved usability for the Business Central user. First up is a search for features in the Role Explorer. Now, the Role Explorer shows the features that are available on any role center in simple, organized list. That list is now searchable. So within the Role Explorer, you can filter results, but instead it highlights the hits when there's a hit that's been found. To clear that, you can easily hit escape, and that'll open up that find box back up for you. So it's a nice ability when you're searching for something in the Role Center Explorer page. The next new feature is the Enable Non-Interactive Printing. This is a nice add for those organizations with complex printing scenarios where labels must be sent to one printer and packing slips are sent to another. Users can expect the same to be able to configure and save and retain certain properties describing such flows. So printing directly to a printer is now possible, which is nice. You can set that up in a new printer management page, which allows you to control these devices that you print to. We do suggest that administrators help to manage that list by creating some pretty friendly names for the printers so their users can easily identify where those printers are. Next up is the Import Profiles and User Interface Customization feature. So administrators and consultants now benefit from a rich toolset which supports role tailoring in Business Central. By having both an export and an import function for profiles, these corresponding interface customizations, customers can easily back up their profile customization before making any further changes. They can replicate profiles across environments or safely explore possibilities in an online sandbox before importing those to production. So users can now import packages and profiles through this user interface customization. It's a simple wizard that'll help guide you through the process. So that's a nice new add. Next up, users can now show parts that are hidden on a page with the latest release. So Business Central is able to adapt the unique needs of the users and department or organizations. So when personalizing pages in Business Central, users can now show a hidden part of any page, such as a fact box on a sales document. This unlocks two common scenarios. First, a business user can personalize their page and then bring back something that was previously hidden. Similarly, this was done with power users, and consultants can unhide parts that were previously hidden. The second thing is that developers can now choose to place secondary content on a page or object and then hide it and give the customer a simple starting point, and then the option to unhide it as they become more comfortable with the content and the processes that are going on. A nice new feature for users is the go-to related records from the list page. So Microsoft recognizes that navigating throughout your business data and jumping from one context to the other is simply drilling through data is essential for business professionals. They're adding capability for users to navigate via links to even more places than you can today. This allows you to open a related card from a list, such as a customer or an item card from a sales order. For example, in the screenshot below, here users can very quickly navigate from the invoice list directly to the customer card if they needed to. The next feature was the improved pages that have multiple parts. So this is where Microsoft was able to optimize the layout to give users a better way to view their data more quickly and make decisions and act when they act. For example, we're looking at the bank reconciliation page that parts are side by side to make it easier to come across reference lines. All right, users often bookmark reports to keep information at their fingertips. So they often need fast access to information that isn't already available on the Role Center. So users can now bookmark reports which are left them link them to the Role Center homepage, which will save them clicks for the next time that they need that information. Users get a better overview of their data when it's grouped into categories. So some data is best represented by a deep hierarchical list. Users will experience a new level of efficiency when working with these data trees. So users can easily drill down and drill back out again of these different collapsible areas by categorizing this data, which is a nice addition. So being able to enter data more easily is a constant focus of Microsoft and Business Central. So now in editable lists, users will be able to use the left and right arrow keys to navigate to previous or next cell in a row. This provides a consistent experience between editable and non-editable lists and increases the speed and agility of exploring data in these worksheets. Similar to Microsoft Excel, we've introduced the F2 key, which toggles between selecting the entire value of a field and then placing the cursor at the end of the value. This allows users to quickly replace the value and add to it if they need to. So the F2 key is available for editable fields and editable cells in those lists. Finally, when typing to fill a row of data, the tab key is no longer set to focus on the ellipsis, which I know was a big complaint for our users. It now brings up the context for the next row. So this improves efficiency when rapidly entering data and ensures that the tab key presses are predictable. Now, the 2019 release wave 2 eliminated the need to recreate commonly used filters by allowing users to be able to permanently save those filters in the web client. Based on feedback, we've now improved this filter experience even more. So when you author a filter that uses expressions such as date ranges or filter tokens, you can toggle the filter field to display either the expression or the corresponding value. This is particularly useful when you're saving list view so that the date or the time-sensitive expression can easily be modified when needed. Additionally, when on these list pages, you can save the URL as a browser favorite, which will include your current view, allowing you to link directly to that view when you navigate to that favorite link. Note that the web client URL will only include views and filters that have been saved. So when you're working with lists, Business Central will help you pick up where you left off, and if you are disconnected, it should reload the web page that you were trying to return when you last viewed the system. All right, let's now hit on a few highlights related to the application enhancements. First up is the ability to use resources in purchase documents. So most businesses tend to outsource or hire external or named resources on a temporary basis, such as for a particular project or a job. The ability to purchase resources allow you to track and process these transactions. So you can now use resources as a line type on purchase documents. For example, you can add resources on purchase orders, invoices, credit memos, and post-purchase transactions for them. You can correct purchase documents with these resource lines, copy them, or use resource extended text. Next up, users can now send the right documents to the contact every time. So you can now save time while sending documents to different customers or vendor contacts by setting up contacts that use specific documents. For example, customer statements will now be sent to accountant contacts. Sales orders will be sent to customer purchasers, and purchase orders will be sent to those vendors, salespeople, or account managers. So you can now populate the document layout page for vendor and customer base on the settings in the report selection page. To send the specific documents to these company contacts, choose the company contact to use for that specific layout. Now, the document layout page for a customer now contains additional usage options for reminders and posted shipments. The document layout page for a vendor, it's the same way. It has different options that are available as well. Business Central now allows users to receive more goods than they have ordered. So you can now receive a quantity higher than the ordered quantity on the purchase orders, according to an over-receipt policy that you set up on your over-receipt code page. Here you can fill the over-receipt tolerance percentage field and select the policy that's to be used by default. Now, if your company uses purchase order approval, there's an over-receiving that can trigger a reapproval. So if you define this on your over-receipt code page. On that card for the item and vendor, you can then select the over-receipt code, which is applicable to that policy and can be used by default on those purchases. So when you select an over-receipt code, you can then enter a higher than ordered quantity for the quantity to receive field and release the purchase order to the warehouse receipts. Finally, there's now the ability to undo shipment or receipt lines for non-items. So sales shipments and purchase receipts often have lines that contain non-items, such as service work, shipping agent fees, etc. So if you spot a mistake in the use and you need to undo a shipment or undo a receipt line, you can very easily correct that and undo those non-item lines on the sales shipment or purchase receipt line. All right, so included in the April 1 release are some better tools to help your system administrator or partner. I will warn you that a few of these are a little more technical in nature, so if you have questions, please contact us so that we can get you in communication with one of our technical consultants. All right, first up is the ability to integrate with common data services. So there's a new common data service onboarding experience which will be provided where the user is able to connect common data service environment and associate your Business Central company with that common data service. This provides extensibility support for developers and being able to integrate into the common data service. As a reminder, the common data service is at the center of the Dynamics 365 suite. So your common data service enables users to have a 360-degree view of the business and data available to them. There's a nice new feature in the Manage Permissions with Improved Insight tool. So permission sets are often complex, we realize that, and sometimes there's conflicts that arise between what the license and the permission set allow. So system administrators can now click the Show Permissions Conflict Overview page to show where conflicts are and then investigate them on the Show Permissions Conflict page. Administrators can now also get telemetry in their application insight, so partners can monitor performance of web service requests and reports. With Business Central servers, they will emit telemetry about the execution time and timeouts of web service requests and reports. So partners and customers can then use this to monitor their environments for performance issues caused by web services, requests, or reports. And it can help them be more proactive in preventing these types of issues from occurring in the future. Now, a nice new tool for system administrators is the ability to view data sizes per table. So when troubleshooting performance issues, sometimes it's necessary to see the distribution of data size across tables. This feature makes it easy for administrators to look up this information. So there's a new page called Table Information, and it shows the company name, the table name, table number, and the number of records, and a few other fields that are helpful to the administrator. There's also a new tool for admins and partners to check the ability to cancel sessions. So in the rare event that the session becomes locked or stuck, sometimes canceling the session is the only way to unblock that for a customer. For example, if you have a long-running report that's locking data in the table, that may be preventing warehouse folks from being able to do something. In prior features, a partner will need to contact the support and help locate the termination of that session. But now with the Business Central Administration Center, an administrator or your partner can see a list of all active sessions in that environment and can then cancel the one or multiple ones that are locking and consuming those sessions. So it's a nice add for Microsoft. Then finally, there's a new wave update that now allows for AL interfaces, which allows for writing code that reduces the dependency on the implementation details and makes it easier to reuse code on supporting calling of objects and substituting business logic. So again, this one's a little more in-depth, a little more technical. Your system administrator will really appreciate this addition. All right, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, Microsoft has a nice video overview that hits on many of these new features. We would also encourage you to read over the entire release plan. I have that link provided here as well. And then finally, if you have any ideas or suggestions for future releases of Business Central, please visit the idea site and make a post or have a forum link there where you can add your suggestions. All right, so I know that we have covered a lot of ground to hit on several new features and capabilities. I would encourage you to talk to your TrinSoft contact to learn more about some of these changes and features and enhancements that have been added if you have any questions. If you're not already a Business Central client, we would be happy to have a call to discuss further with you. Again, thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar. If you would like a copy of these slides, let me know. We'll be happy to share these with you. Now, again, if you have any questions, please send me a quick email or give me a call, and we'll be happy to talk through any of these questions with you. Thanks again for your time, and we hope you have a great day.